You're listening to KFUG Crescent City, 101.1 FM and online at kfugradio.org. Community radio for Crescent City, Del Norte, and beyond. KFUG.
Well, good afternoon, Crescent City, and welcome to DTL. This is Isaiah.
Maybe turn down the in-house.
Mr. Dandy.
What's going on, brother? Maybe turn down the in-house. Well, happy day. What a beautiful day. You know, we've had how many beautiful days in a row now with no rain, just really a lot of wind. It's been really super windy. But you know, I want to say like it's been blowing a lot of that negativity away, getting us ready for spring. Spring is already here in full bloom. Have you seen some of those trees out in Indiana?
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Oh my gosh, like the purples and the reds. Now we have some of those beautiful greens there is. Like every shade of green, from the redwood to the oak to the back to the redwood. You know, but those trees out there in Indiana and Chicago are just gorgeous. Our pug friend has like sent me a picture of this most beautiful purple and red tree. Oh, just beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. How are you doing? How's your day?
My day's good.
Nice.
You know, Liven, as we say.
Liven. Oh my gosh. You know, this whole last week has really just been kind of one of those building weeks. Building, you know? The VA has helped us, and my son and you know my family has stepped up and helped us out tremendously. So many programs have just stepped up, and all the same programs that I'm supporting and encouraging others to use are some of the same programs that are now benefiting us. It's pretty neat, and so you guys, I'm telling you, if you don't ask, it won't happen. We need to swallow maybe a little bit of pride and remember that we can't do this alone. I don't even know if I would want to.
I don't think I'd want to do it alone.
I really don't, you know?
We find ourselves sometimes thinking that, you know, maybe being alone would give us some time for clarity or time for reflection.
Right.
And, you know, those small times of being alone and, you know, having that sense of self and self-awareness does help, I believe. You know, but you know, it takes a tribe to build a village.
Indeed.
You know,
Indeed. I was asked. I was just having a conversation before the show with a friend who just went through a breakup, and their ex-partner, you know, has these just views and these outlooks, and my friend is trying to understand the ex-partner. Like, why would they do this? Why would they feel like this? And I told them, you know, sometimes there's a movie, The Dark Knight, right? And there's this character in The Dark Knight, the Joker, and Alfred references and says, you know, some people just want to watch the world burn. Some people have this in them that they just want to watch something grow, to watch it destroy, so that they can sit back and say, oh, I helped build this, and watch me destroy it.
Right. Which in a lot of ways, that's it's a double negative, you know.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, we want to build everything up, but then we get to these points in our life where we feel like we need to tear it down, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot of programming in ourselves that we've been inundated with, that, you know, like they say, out of the ashes comes the phoenix, you know.
Yes.
It's like,
yes.
Well, why do we have to tear everything down in order for it to be beautiful, you know? And we've been told, or, you know, pushed in these ways that's accepting, you know, that's accepted. And I understand when things are wrong, we need to maybe tear it down and rebuild it. But if something's completely good or sane, or, you know, why do we sometimes find it that we need to, break these things apart in order for it to be better for ourselves?
And
when we can't just go along with the flow of something that's amazing and feel this amazingness, and then get to these points where we need chaos. It's like, why as people do we seem to long for chaos in situations?
Yeah.
And that's where I feel like we've come to a point of now in society. It's like we as people feel like it's going too good.
Something's going to happen wrong. It's going too good.
And then we put that mind state into ourselves that, oh man, it's going way too good. Something bad's got to happen. So then, basically we're ushering in this negativity towards what it is that, we're longing to have,
Well, and instead of us breaking things down, a lot of times what we really need to do is put in that extra brace, that support unit, whatever it is, under that part. Because if we just run away from something, is it really fixing it? If we just watch it destroy itself, is it really fixing it?
Right. Exactly.
And if we really care about something or somebody, we're going to put that time into it to watch it build, not watch it destroy. We're going to watch it build. And a lot of times we get so inundated with we have to fix this. We can fix this. As men, we're especially grown up in the 70s, 80s, when it was instilled in us that when a young lady falls, you go help them up. Now it's, nope, she's too strong for me. Well, how do you know?
Yeah.
There's the communication part. And we're not putting gender on anything. Men and women are both equal in every aspect. These memes and these posts I see where it's always talking about the sign. Good signs do this and they'll break your heart. These signs are heartbreakers. These ones are heartbroken. Are you kidding me? No. Because you can look at everybody and say,
it's just a scapegoat.
Yeah,
I feel like that's a scapegoat.
It is.
That's something that people are using in order to justify their actions.
Last week, you and I had this. Oh, it was Monday. We had this amazing conversation about the race. Remember that?
Yeah.
And so that's been on my mind since Monday about nationality versus race. Now, people, we are the human race, right? We are all humans of the same race. We are all one species. We are different nationalities, we're different skin colors. But when it comes down to it, what are we all really racing for?
Yeah. We're all human beings.
We're all human beings.
Yeah. Living together.
And so, what are we racing for? What are you racing for? We always say, who's driving your bus? Well, who's winning your race? Because if you feel like you're last, well, why? Do you have a roof over your head? Do you try every day? Do you put forth an effort? So you're not last. I graduated 390 out of 395. I wasn't last. Right? 5 people were lazier than me in school. I get to hold on to that. I could have tried harder. I could have been number 1. But, that wasn't my race at the time.
Yeah, and really, does it matter? Why do we have to put these? Why do we always have to put labels or, genres or these different categories of people? You know what I mean? It's like why do we have to have labels for everything? Why does everything have to be? It's like this is this and this is this and this is this, and it's all really It's like I always revert back to the music because it's like one of my main things in life. It's like, why do we have to genreify every type of music into these categories in order for them to sell it better?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, and we do that with people as well, I feel like. So it's like, why have we decided to make these people inferior to these people, or this, to this? And it's like, when we get to these points of realization that we need to look at everyone as a representation of ourselves.
Yes.
So when say I'm looking at you right now, you know, I'm sitting across from this table looking at you.
What do you like what you see?
Well, yeah, of course I do.
That's sweet.
Because I'm looking at myself. You know, if I can't look at you as just another representation of me, another piece in the broken mirror that is me in life, then I'm already backpedaling. Now, once we make this true choice to see all others around us, and I'm not talking about just the people in your immediate circle or your little bubble. I'm talking about everybody that you cross paths with, everyone that you make eye contact with. You need to start looking at these people as a true representation of yourself. That at any given moment, you could be in their same shoes.
Yep.
You know, so why is it that we pass judgment and find ourselves almost building walls around ourselves in order to keep these types of things
No
out?
more walls.
Yeah, and it's like, you know,
Speed bumps, not walls.
Yeah, and I find myself now that I'm getting a little bit older, you know, I find myself actually making more conscious effort to open myself up to everyone. Not only the people that I love and I care about, but every fellow person that I come in contact with. I treat them as if as if it was myself. And, you know, sometimes I get mad at myself. So, of course, I'm going to get mad at somebody for doing something, you know, what I consider dumb or stupid, you know. And
Right.
and even then, we have to come to these rationalizations that we aren't the best judge always, you know. Sometimes we get convoluted with so much outside, that we bring this upon ourselves, and then we make these judgments that are completely unclear, you know, and biased, you know.
You know who you are. I'm talking to you right now because we just got off the phone. Isn't this kind of the same thing that we were just talking about? You know, like we hold ourselves. Why are we holding on to this? And why are we judging ourselves and allowing this situation or this person dictate who we are and allow them to allow us to judge ourselves? No. We should not be allowing others. Oh, sorry, Room Dooner. We have a special guest in the office today. Very special. She's beautiful. She might as well be a supermodel. She really should. She's Dominican, maybe, right? She's got some color. Italian. My bad. So this beautiful woman. Sorry, you folks are gonna love her. Look, isn't she just gorgeous? She is just beautiful. And you know, hello, Miss Amy. You know, this life gives us these things, and the character that we have. Sorry, folks, I was talking to the Luna, but these people that we bring into our lives are the characters, like you said, the representation, and we do keep the people that are a representation of ourselves, right? Yeah. And we know, because do we hang out with certain family members? No. Do we talk to certain acquaintances outside of seeing them at Walmart? No. Do we do certain things with people? No. But what do we do with those that we know have our back, have our same interests, and care about the same things? Those are the people that you're always telling me, look at who you have around you. Mm-hmm. And those are the people that are going to really inspire you. So the other day I was watching, I woke up, my cousin was up watching her Andrew Yang videos, Andrew Yang 2020. And so he was on, I can't remember what show it was, but he was talking about legalizing marijuana, right? And so one of his first things, so that for 2021, he's going to abolish or pardon everybody that is in prison for non-violent cannabis crimes. Amazing. What a platform. Like, thank you. That is awesome, you know? legalize it? How is it bad for you if it cures cancer?
Mm-hmm.
How?
Well, it's not bad for you. It's bad for them.
It is bad for them because they're not making money off of it,
Mm-hmm.
and so
Yeah, because then where would these hundreds of billions of dollars that are donated to cancer research every year, whose pockets wouldn't they be lining anymore? That's what we need to get to the bottom of.
So then when I'm watching this, and on the back thing it says humanity first, something awakening, and I was like, holy moly! And there is an awakening right now going on in ourselves and in society. We're watching it right now.
Yeah,
We've been watching it for the last 2.5, almost 3 years.
we're living it.
And if you open your eyes, you will feel it. When you close your eyes, you'll hear it and smell it.
Mm-hmm.
And we can watch, because some of the relationships that we were in are no longer part of us. Some of those that were damaged are now rekindled and growing even stronger. The awakening of the belief that we have in ourselves, that if I just follow my heart, good things are going to happen. It is not against the law to ask questions.
Right.
So why are they making it so? Why? So I'm watching this thing, and NASA just revealed secret history with 60 years of photos. Secrets. More government secrets being revealed after 60 years. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, well, we gotta
So-
think about it this way. That we've been told things for many, many years that were all false, and I think it's in order to create not necessarily chaos, but create this
Mass confusion.
wagon wheel of repeating
Yeah.
history, so that the powers that be can maintain this gridlock upon society,
So, and that brings me to TV, right? So if we look at the TV shows from the 40s, 50s, 60s, even early 70s, it was all about families building. Leave It to Beaver, what a great show, right? Mayberry, all these great wholehearted, that's what you said.
Mm-hmm.
TV shows that build the character and do family unity. Now we have TV shows where people are breaking up and they're sleeping with everybody in their apartment building,
Yeah.
and they're going to college and they're living the college life. Well, it's no wonder why society is lost today. It's no wonder why we have so many lost people that are getting into a relationship for 6.5 minutes,
Yeah.
saying hi.
What is the divorce rate in America? 65%?
Oh,
I think that's what it is. It's like no longer is it the status quo to be in love and to be cared for and to be this unit. The programming has changed.
Yep.
And that's why they call it programming, people, is because they program these things into people. That's why in the 50s and early 60s, people were more so in tune to this family aspect. I feel like especially the people coming home from the war, World War
Yes.
II,
yeah.
they had this sense of pride in family that because they had realized that it can all be taken away in an instant.
Yep. And we don't realize that today.
And I don't think we really grasp the concept that what it is we're really trying to do as a species, and this, I think it gets into the whole transgender and not identifying as a boy or a girl, or basically not creating a family unit anymore, because I know if you're a man and you become a woman, and you're a woman and you become a man, no longer is there an ability to procreate.
Yeah.
So why are we taking away this dynamic of procreation away from our species? Why are we starting to accept the fact of procreation to forward our species. You know, now it's becoming an aspect of, you know, freedom of thought or freedom of choice, and you know, we've always had these freedoms, yet now it's like we're being inundated to actually not have that freedom of our own thought, but be manipulated into thinking this way, you know. And I feel, you know, people are like, oh, you know, and this is just my opinion, you know, don't take it with a grain of salt, but I feel like when you push these children towards and people towards this way of thinking, after so long the program becomes stronger.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Very much.
And
yes.
me and you being in our 40s, as,
Whoa.
as you know, as kids of the 80s.
There we go. That's better.
We were completely inundated with this gay agenda, you know, this rethinking. And I'm not saying anything bad about homosexuality or gayness, you know, or whatever, anything like that, because I've had many gay friends in my life that are awesome people. But the fact of the matter is, if you go back and look at MTV, which was the mainstay for our generation,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the first 5-6 years of MTV, the majority of it was performed by gay artists, you know, ushering this, and I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but they were ushering in this agenda of this, you know, homosexuality. And now that I look back at it more so now, this new wave of music, because music is so powerful. This is the thing people a lot of times forget. Music is one of the most powerful things.
Yes, indeed.
And you know, people always say, oh, you know, smell or taste, or you know, these things can bring you back to a place very quick. You know what I mean? But music, you know, when you hear a song or you hear something, you automatically can go to this spot in your mind, in your psyche, where, man, I remember exactly where I was when I heard this song, or, you know, we were doing exactly this.
And
or,
sometimes it's a song that if you hear it, you have to turn it off right away.
Right now.
Right now. It has to be gone. I have 4 songs. 4 songs like that.
Yeah, me too. You know, it's like I hear Freebird and I can't listen to it. I can't listen to it because at my best friend's funeral, they played that. You know, so it was like every time I hear it now, it takes me right to that place. So if you know, the subliminal programming that they've used in music has really came to a head. Now you look at like all these Mickey Mouse kids, you know, all these Mouseketeers, and then you look at that, what they took them kids from as Mickey Mouse kids, right, into their adulthood, and they completely warped and had all this craziness and madness through their lives now, that it, you know, like kids that loved Miley Cyrus, you know, they grew up on Hannah Montana, and then
Montana.
Then Miley Cyrus became Miley Cyrus, and these same children that loved Hannah Montana, their parents took them to this concert, and they see this girl on stage, you know, in a tutu,
It's
you
just
know,
crazy.
with, you know, pleasuring herself with a banana, you know, and how much of a flip-flop turn is that? You know, I can't even imagine taking my daughter to a concert for someone that she loved as a kid growing up with, and all of a sudden this girl's on stage like,
Dad, we ain't in Kansas anymore.
Sticking her tongue out with horns on her head, pleasuring herself with a banana. It's like, whoa, where did we go wrong? Where did we go wrong here?
Dad, we took a left turn.
Yeah, we took a left turn.
Are you sure you brought me to this concert?
Yeah, down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, well, where did the programming is completely warped, you know, and people think, oh, you know, I'm not programmed or this or that. Well, how come every television program is called a program? Every TV show is actually called a program.
A program.
You know, what is the program listing on a radio station?
Sorry, Dina.
You know, what are
It happens.
What are these things? And it's like, well, we've come.
Who is bananas?
Yeah, who is bananas? Exactly. And it's
He was
like,
misty.
it's like where did we go wrong? You know, why did,
You know what it was?
why did
It
we
was-
allow this?
It was Janet Jackson's slip at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where it all. No, it was even before that.
Wasn't that
when-
with
when-
Justin Timberlake?
Yes, but I think
So
it
there you
was
go.
before that
It's a
with
Mouseketeer again.
and it was Britney before that, Paris Hilton before that, getting out of the car.
Yeah.
Man, I tell you, everywhere there's something slipping. I need to start wearing smaller shorts.
Well,
I think.
I honestly believe it's desensitizing the sexuality. Maybe they want, like when I was a kid, 10-year-old kids didn't wear Daisy Dukes and cut off shirts and
Nope.
makeup and high heels.
Nope.
You know what I mean? It's like, why did we start bringing sexuality to children and to young adults?
Look at the costumes.
Yeah,
Halloween.
We got dirty kitty cats and
Nasty cops that want to, Are you kidding me?
I feel like we are.
Bless you. Bless you.
I feel like we have come to a point in our society where we're reverting back. And why is it we are de-evolving as a species? Why are they trying to make us de-evolve, instead of let's push forward to this place of true acceptance. And I'm not talking acceptance of these backwards, upside down agendas that we've been programmed to accept.
Right. Right.
Now, I look back even to all the great empires that have been upon the earth that in our history that we've been told of, and I'm sorry, I'm a skeptic on all history.
Dude,
But
we're gonna get to that in just a second.
Yeah, if you look back throughout history and everything, the gay agenda was always there. They always had, at one point it was more acceptable to have sex with young boys than it was a woman, and it's like, where haven't we evolved from that point?
So in France, right? There's this TV show I was talking about last week called Versailles, right? And in France, the king of France, Louis, wasn't even really the son of a king. He was the son of a peasant, right? His brother was the same way, was the same son of the same peasant. And the younger brother was homosexual. But he had to marry a woman in order to keep up that appearance. And so it's always been there. It's been more acceptable in other countries. And we are in America where it's land of the free, home of the brave, but we're going to give you some limitations and some guidelines. And if you stick to those guidelines, then we won't ridicule you.
Right.
So we want you to be an individual.
But like what I said, it's
don't be too gay,
Yeah.
or don't be too straight, or don't be like I will admit it. I'm a metrosexual. I love looking nice. I love being groomed. I love looking presentable.
Yeah, but in all
and
reality,
having style.
in all reality, that's a label. You just like having nice things, looking good, and feeling good about yourself.
Yes.
Now, what I'm trying to get to in this conversation, I guess, more so or not, is that why is it that we have this point of, like, is it natural for a man to love a man sexually? I mean, were we created? Why had we? I think as a species, as a true species, we weren't created to have same sex. I mean, no.
Right. But there's always that 2.0. right? Or
Right.
the
Well, you have to,
3.0.
and
I
you know,
mean,
I might be sounding completely homophobic right now, completely like trying to bash gay people or whatever, but I'm truly not. I like I said, I don't pass judgment upon anybody. I'm just looking at it as a species, you know, as a human, sentient, very intelligent.
you're right. We were not meant to have same-sex relations. I don't believe so. It was for procreation, but along the line somewhere,
We got corrupted.
somebody
People got
said,
corrupted.
"Hey, what's going on?"
Yeah.
And why was it more okay 400 years ago for men to have that same sex, but if women did, and let's look at that. Men would have wanted, they've had long hair. It was more acceptable to have long hair. It showed more dominance if you had long hair. Women had long hair. If you had short hair as a man, you were like an outcast, basically, right?
Until Caesar.
Until Caesar, right? Until JC.
Till you got the Caesar cut.
And then, but I don't know. One of my best friends of all time. This person came out and she was kind of ostracized, you know, and had to. People don't understand that they're still the same person. They still are. There's nothing that has changed, really, other than they just like something else now. Mm-hmm. You know, is it for everybody? No, but I know that in my heart, I love this person.
Right.
You are not only my best friend, but you know the person, my most dearest confidant. This person knows more about me than I want to say any two people on the planet.
Right. And that's the thing I'm trying to say is a few of my really close friends have been, you know, flamboyantly gay, and it's like I love them with my whole heart, but it's like what I'm saying is where in our where in our line of people did it become?
We can't even look at history about that either.
And you can't. That's what I'm trying to say.
I see what you're saying.
Where's the species? Did it come? Where did it start coming in?
So and all these books. So let's look at the history. So with NASA, that's where we kind of got off track for a second. But NASA just revealed 60 years of photos from a secret history. So that means that all the history books that are out today are going to get updated. That means more schools are going to get charged for things. So our taxes are going to It's ridiculous how they will do something behind the scenes. The government, that's what I'm talking about. The government will do things behind the scenes for years. If we do something behind the scenes, the government's right on us going, why are you doing that? Where's the accountability, government? You get to do things behind everything, change history at your whim. At your whim. This is why you watch Netflix or you watch the TV and they start doing these things. History of the tomb unveiled. Right. History of this unveiled. Well, of course it's been unveiled because if you look at when it was actually documented, it was documented 5 to 8 years before it was released so that they could get all their ducks that they want us to know in a row. My friend and I were
so they can create the history.
So my friend and I were talking about the assassination of JFK, right? We were getting deep into it, and I said, "Well, we already know that he killed himself. Uh-huh. The person in the car that died was a body double. If you believe anything else, believe that was a body double. He unveiled something. He uncovered something, and he was warned." And he said, fine, I get to be the one to do it. So they found that Patsy. They found another Patsy. There's so many conspiracies about the grassy knoll, and then it comes out that the Bush administration. Okay, well, great.
Well,
there's so many conspiracies about it all.
And if you think about it like this, like JFK Jr., when he
died,
when he was getting to the point as a lawyer where everyone was like, you're gonna go into politics, you're gonna do this, you're gonna be the next savior and all these things, and he said, well, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna create this magazine, that is geared basically towards politics. And what most people don't know is he already knew all the secrets. He knew what had happened to his father.
That book.
And he said, well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to name my magazine after the person that killed my father. So what's the name of his magazine?
George.
And if people can't put these blatant clues together, that, you know, now it's coming out that him and his wife faked their death. You know, and it's like to save himself from assassination.
Him, Elvis, and Tupac are all sitting down in Cuba.
And Biggie.
All sitting down in Cuba, right? Getting ready to unveil something.
Writing rhymes.
This is right.
They're gonna have a new book of nursery rhymes. This is gonna be the new book of nursery rhymes. This is gonna be the new Aesop's Fables. It's gonna be, you know, because if we look at things like that, is, you know, it's like the Bible, getting into the Bible. It's like, if you can't just see the morality in things, then you're already jaded. And
right.
If you aren't even open to see the morality, you know, you're corrupted.
Well, when you talk about the book, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's so many the books that history is unveiled. There's a movie, National Treasure 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he finds the president's book and he gets to look inside of it and see all this stuff. What if that's real, but there's another one?
Yeah.
And that's the one that
there's
JFK.
A side note.
Right.
There's a side note book.
There's a JFK. That's the one K found.
This is the
right?
Cliff Notes.
So
that big one is just the Cliff Notes. There's another real.
Right. So when he found that one, and it was on the shelf, like right there, it's just on the shelf. It says dictionary. And when he pulled it off and started looking at it, he started making notes, and that's what he left to Junior. Like, here's a coloring book for you, son.
Yeah.
And Junior's like, what in the heck am I going to do with
this is a connect the dots.
Right. What am I going to do with this activity book?
Yeah.
And
it's like highlights.
And it told him, around this time, you might want to disappear.
Yeah.
What do you mean, disappear? Connect the dots, son.
Yeah.
Turn the page and do another activity book.
Yeah.
You know, and when we start looking at what the government and their history is doing to society.
Yeah.
We can't take anything that we've been taught in school. We can't take any of it.
No, because you have to really come to rationalization. Who writes and prints the books?
25 years ago, when I'm going to high school and I'm learning about all this stuff, none of this stuff today was uncovered.
Right.
Not one thing.
And if you go back and look at textbooks that we were taught out of, they're completely different than what is being taught now in school.
My grandmother brought over on the Mayflower one of the first cookbooks, right? And she brought that one over when she was with Noah. That one came over, but it got lost. Somebody found it, and when you put the two together, they're identical. One's just a little newer. Then she's got this cookbook from 1888, 89. That was her grandmother's or great-grandmother's. And it's in there, some of the same recipes today, but it's a newer book and a newer version. But some of the things are taken out of it, like the gluten aspect. People, gluten was there for you and your happiness. If you need to do an extra sit-up a day, don't be lazy. We're going to get into lazy in just a second. But don't be lazy. Please. Food is there. It's a happiness. Right? Don't let anybody take it away from you. Because, again, the history of food. What is the history of food? If you're allergic to it, by all means. If you are allergic to something, by all means. I have somebody in my life that is allergic to eggs, wheat, I know, gluten, and that is one of the biggest shames. I really feel sorry for them. But the history of food, cookbooks. Does anybody out there, what is the oldest cookbook that your grandparents have or you have on your shelf? And if you take that to Walmart or some of these other stores and they have one of their cookbooks, try to like put two of them next to each other and see what the differences truly are. Because if we do that with ourselves and people, I am no different than my buddy here. No different. I'm no different than any of you. Gender, Doesn't matter. We're all the same on the inside. Some of us are just wired differently. We know that because the inside of a woman's reproductive is the same as the outside of a man's. Just inverted, exverted, right? So we're all basically the same. Why do men have nipples? Great question. Great, one of those questions that has baffled the world since the beginning of when Adam said, "Why does my side hurt?" And we've all heard that joke, right? We've all heard that joke. There's no difference. Miss Amy, I love you. You are one of the most amazing people in my world, and I greatly appreciate everything that you've brought. I can't wait to see you. So I'm hoping to come out at the end of June with the kids. I already let my dad know, and we're gonna be heading down there. Just a couple of little side notes. So I was looking at. I'm always into how to change the world. What can we do? Solar power is amazing. Well, the other day I saw this thing. This coast took, and they have these buoys, these things in their wave machines.
Yeah.
You saw that?
No, I've seen them before. They're doing it in Greece, I believe, and in Italy.
So these wave machines come up and they turn the wave into
it's a wave turbine.
Yeah, it's just like these buoys, and they just float on the top, and the wave makes it go up and down, and it turns it into
that's what I'm
electricity,
saying.
right?
So it creates a turbine. I believe it powers basically a turbine. The motion of the wave lifts this buoy, and then as it drops, it creates the motion to turn this turbine to create energy.
And then when there's a storm coming in or whatever, it just lifts up out
all the way out and falls against that seawall.
Right. So with our harbor, why don't we have that here?
Well, you know why.
Oh, I know why. Oh, speaking of our harbor here, so my niece is getting ready to go on a field trip to the water treatment plant. And I said, "Hey, how would you like to ask a question?" She said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, why don't you ask, how is it okay, and does the EPA know that you guys leak out into the water that we fish in 500 yards off the pier from that spot? And we eat that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good fishing."
Yeah.
But she didn't want to ask my question. So I'm asking right now.
Well, because the EPA gives an acceptance level of things. Now, this is where it comes into play. It's like,
so the government gets acceptance levels.
So, and that's where we as people have digressed, as even though we're doing something bad, as long as we're not doing it above this level of bad, it's accepted.
So here's the shenanigans part of this. The other night I'm having this conversation, and when we're being raised from the age of 0 until 8, 9, we don't know any better. Kids say the darndest things, right? It's a learning experience. When we reach a certain age, the elderly say the darndest things, and they can get away with things because they've earned it. They've lived that life. Okay, so you're telling me that from the age of 9 until 58, I have to be perfect and I'm not allowed to make mistakes? Oh, no. So again, we're getting away from not only race, ethnicity, nationality, gender, but we're getting away from ageism. If you say something stupid, you're allowed to. It doesn't matter. We all say the dumbest things every single day. And sometimes we say it and we're like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe I just said that. Oh, I'm 40 years old. I can't believe I just said that. I should know better." Well, you know what? In 20 years, people will say, "Oh, don't worry about it. You earned it." No, I think I've earned it now. Because if I would have said it as an 8-year-old and somebody would have
owned it now.
Now I've owned it. So at 8, if I would have said it and they would have been like, "Oh, he doesn't know any better." Well, 5 times the generations later of 8, I think I should know better. But you know what? Sometimes we don't. We have this thing, right, that filter. And sometimes we get emotional and we say things we don't mean. We get into an argument and we just want to make the other person feel the way we do. We just want to cause hurt because we're hurting. So we say some stupid stuff. Happens. We do stupid things. I learned this lesson that if you get into an argument, you can take a time out. You are allowed to. You're allowed to tell your partner, you know what, this is getting nowhere. We're doing nothing but like making it worse. I need to go for a walk, or you do. And if you go for a walk,
let's diffuse the situation in order to reflect on it.
Exactly.
And then let's reconvene and try and move forward.
Exactly. So when you tell your partner, or they say, okay, I'm going to take 30 minutes, I'll be back. Be gone for 30 minutes. Don't go for 45 or 50, because then that argument is now not only about what it is before you left, but now there's 20 minutes of unaccounted time. And we already know where our thought process goes. Who are you sleeping with? That's the first thing that comes out. Not what happened, because we might have fallen and gotten hurt. We might have broken our phone and not had a chance to be able to call to tell somebody something.
Or we might have just needed that little bit of extra time to reflect upon the things that we said.
Yep.
You know, not just the things that you said or whoever said, but actually reflect upon ourselves the things that we have done, and you know why we did them. Not just what we did, but why we did those things. What led up to this point of us to get to this, where we even needed this time of separation, because I mean, I go through it. I love my woman to death, I love her to life, and I love my family, and sometimes we get caught up in this rat race and this this structure that society has put us into, to become dependent upon money and all these things outside of the love that is shared between you and your partner, you and your family, and sometimes it gets so tough for us to even see past the those simple things that we should all just have in life.
Yes.
Because we have to be off doing this or be off doing that, instead of really giving our full self to the people that we love and care about, that are there for us, and we know that they're there for us, and we know they love us, and we know we love them. But sometimes we've been, like I said, we've been pigeonholed into all these categories of we have to have this, or we have to have that, or and it's especially the simple things in life, like food and shelter and clothing. Sometimes it's hard to get those things for people. Just those simple things that everybody should have.
Well,
so it leads us into these.
Sometimes some people don't care if they have food or housing or even clothes on their back. They want that love. They want that affection.
That's what I'm trying to
from
say.
Somebody, right? And that's a great feeling to want that, but at the same time, it's so damaging to give that much control.
Yes.
That is what we're doing. We are giving control of who we are and what we are because of a feeling. That feeling is always going to be there. Always. You can love anybody and they can love you. But what is it that you're losing to find that love? You're losing the time at work, the time with your kids, the time with yourself, right? And what is, so now, not even like in the 50s, 60s when we were building relationships, now we don't even have relationships anymore. We need to be, and stop looking at it, life and things as a relationship. We need a partnership.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody asked me not too long ago if Ben was my partner. Yes. As a matter of fact, that young man is my partner in crime, my partner in business, my partner on my show. Why does everything have to be sexual when it comes to having a partnership? I don't really understand that part. I have some of the most amazing people in my life, and nothing about it is sexual. Any of it.
Right.
When we get away from that part where we have to have that physical connection and we have that emotional connection, more doors open. They truly do. I was lost when I left my last relationship. I was a lost person. I went through Gateway Education. We got about 4 minutes, but I went through Gateway Education. That was that spiritual awakening, that I needed as a person, as a man, a father, an individual, to put me on the right track to be more aware of what it is I need to help me feel more successful, to help future relationships or partnerships. And then after a year of basically struggling and realizing who I was, that's when I wrote Death to Lefties. Going through Gateway again and then being able to join a Maple Leaf on an amazing adventure of self-enlightenment, basically. There's nothing like being able to realize that, you know what, you might be in several failed relationships, but you didn't really fail. You gave it a chance. You tried. What did you learn from it? And I learned that, you know what, I still have a lot to offer. Anybody. When I go camping in a few weeks, anybody that goes camping with me, know that there's coffee ready before you wake up. It doesn't matter if you're my partner or not. Food is going to be ready. I love cooking for people. Male or female, I don't care. Kids.
I feel like, and cooking is one of those great examples of, things that we can do to share ourselves. Because when you're cooking and you're feeding people and you see that people, that just that sense of, fulfillment, because of the intention and the time and the effort you put into cooking for these people. I feel like that's why breaking bread with people is one of the most sacred things you can do in life, I feel like.
It is. In Greece, I had the pleasure of being in Greece. It was beautiful. And they do like 7 to 11 course meals. And this is hours worth of conversation, eating, drinking on the beach. Like you get to run out there and play in the waves on jet skis, come back, and they've got so much food. The soul, it re-energizes the soul when you get to sit there across from somebody, watch them smile as they're putting food in their mouth. And there's just that camaraderie. When you get to cook together in a partnership, even at a barbecue. Don't forget, people, this Saturday, and I'll remind everybody again at the end of the show, this Saturday from 1 to 4, we're doing our another DTL potluck barbecue. So please bring a dish down, come down and have some good conversation. I'm bringing meatballs and rice.
Yummy.
The PATG, she's bringing pulled pork. So for sandwiches or tacos. I have somebody else bringing another garlic pasta dish that was amazing. We had a little get together last weekend. Brought a really amazing dish. Doing these things to get people not only out of their homes but in the kitchen, putting their heart and soul into something and sharing it. Miss Susan, you and Miss Ruby are two of the most amazing souls DTL has in our world, and I really just want to thank you for all the support and encouragement that you two ladies have brought forth to us. And I look forward. I think the package is at the house. I look forward to it. If it is, I will try to. I'll wait till tomorrow to open it. Maybe I'll just do a live feed when I open it. We got about a minute or so until our break. We'll go off the bottom one down there.
Yeah, we'll go off the bottom.
So we got about a minute or so left until the show. When we come back, there's a couple of autocorrect issues. Isn't that one of the funniest things in our lives? Is we have this device worth $1,000 in the palm of our hands, and we're typing something, and the autocorrect comes up, and it just changes something. And then we send without realizing it. And the person's
without even taking a look.
And then the person...
I'm guilty of that. The voice text is the craziest one because it it just fills in blanks.
Fuzzy
sometimes.
Wuzzy was a woman? What are you talking about? So we're going to come back. We're going to talk about a little bit of autocorrect issues. And who in your opinion, Zay, was the worst POTUS president? Who is... Think about it.
That's next at the top
Think
of the
about
hour.
it, the top of the hour.
We'll be right back, guys.
Thank
Have
you.
a quick break and see you soon.
KFUG, Crescent City, 101.1 FM, and online at kfugradio.org. Community radio for Crescent City, Del Norte, and beyond. It's KFUG.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. We greatly appreciate it. Who's all in there today? Miss Afina, how are you doing? You know, today's been just one of those amazing days. Autocorrect. Autocorrect is one of those things that will always be a thorn in our side, especially when we know that it shouldn't be. What can we autocorrect in our lives today? What can we autocorrect without even having to think about it? Today is a day of challenging. I like to call today SHIT Day. So happy it's Thursday. Why? Why am I happy today's Thursday? Tomorrow's the end of the week, but the beginning of the weekend. Today's the day before that, and today's kind of a day of thanks. Thanks for allowing me to make it through the week with some of my most amazing friends. Thank you for allowing me to make it through the week, to share my life with you and some of the trials and tribulations that we need to be awakened about. Why do we need to be awakened? I don't know. Why do you think? To sit in a haze and a fog all day long? I'd rather not. I spent 35 years in a haze and a fog. We kind of live in a matrix. We're always offered a blue pill or a red pill. Which one are we going to take? Which rabbit hole are we going to go down? We come to a fork in the road, and it's that pill that we're going to take. No matter what fork we take, it's always going to lead us to something that's going to feed us. There's that spoon at the end. There's always a lesson to be had. Always. Do we have the patience to sit around and wait for that lesson? I want to say we do. I really do. I want to say that I have enough faith in humanity that no matter what, we have each other's backs. But unfortunately, sometimes that's just not the truth. We sit back and we watch people struggle. We watch people come to that same fork, and we know we can warn them and say, if you go that way, you're going to get hurt. But we don't. They're stronger than us. If we keep allowing people who are stronger than us make the same choices we made, are they really stronger? Are we inviting destruction into their lives by not warning them? I will gladly take a bullet for any of my friends. I'll jump in front of a train. I really hope I don't ever have to. But you know what? Sometimes we do need that person that is willing to stand up and say, I'll take that abuse for you. I'll take that punishment. That's what my voice is for. I'm willing to take all that abuse and all that punishment. Because somewhere along the lines, I know everybody out there has my back too. We all are fighting for the same thing. To not be lied to be loved and appreciated, and maybe just to have a better tomorrow. So if we just keep opening our hearts and our minds, you never know what tomorrow's going to bring. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Just wait. Tomorrow's always a new blessing. We got about a minute and a half, so I'll be right back. You guys enjoy the rest of the show. We'll be soon.